The Bishop Leblond girls basketball team had an incredible year, and tonight's guest on Community Conversation with Charles Christian is the team's head coach, Jackie Steltenpohl. Charles?
Thank you, Riley. Jackie, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, you've had a lot of accolades, a lot of things that we'll talk about here in a minute, but besides all those accolades and finishing second in the state and all those amazing things, tell me some things that made this season special for you and for the girls that you coach.
They're just a great group of girls in general, and I think that we became more of a family this year, and they fought for each other each and every game and just made practices so much more enjoyable. I think that they all enjoyed to be around one another, so it just was a memorable year for each and every individual on that team, and I was just so happy that I was able to be a part of it and be their coach.
That's great. Now and you have 4 seniors. It must have been very special to them who you said they started with you in their freshman year, and they got to experience this great season together after all those years. What does that mean to you to be able to see them kind of mature as players?
It means a lot to me. It's always kind of, a moment that you see their start to finish, and it's definitely exciting to see them grow as an individual, not just a basketball player, but as a leader. And all those girls definitely stepped up to the challenge, and they were very supportive of one another. And I think that playing together growing up and leading to high school really bonded them even more than just me being their coach. So I was just thankful to be a part of that senior class, and I'll definitely miss them, and it's going to be a challenge without them, and definitely going to have to coach these younger girls to rise to the challenge as well.
That's great. And speaking of that, now you're a multi-generation coach, we'd say. Your father is a well-known coach. Ziesel is well-known. He helped you out some this year, I think. And but what is your approach to coaching basketball and coaching the players? How would you describe kind of your style, if that's a fair question?
I would say my style is a lot about defense.
Okay.
All the girls know that if you want to see the playing time and see the floor, it's going to be about defense. We held a lot of teams to under 30 points this season, so I think there was only 4 or 5 games that had teams that were 40 points and over. So with us averaging close to 60 points a game, I think that speaks words about how I always emphasize on defense, and being able to defend any sort of player is kind of been my motto, and I love defense even as a player myself, so it's easy and natural for me to coach that, as opposed to just wanting to always score the baskets on the offensive side. So I think that has always been kind of my thing to teach and emphasize on, is definitely being aggressive on defense.
That's great, and it certainly worked out well for you and for the girls. You mentioned your playing career. You played at Benedictine College, is that
Correct.
right? And how did that experience, and of course locally in high school, but how did that experience, your high school and college basketball playing days, influence the way what you wanted to bring over into coaching?
Yeah, I learned so much in college, and defense wins championships is what Coach Folsom would always tell me. So I knew that even myself as a player, I was going to see the floor by having great defense and knowing what the opponent was going to do. So I think that all of those defensive tactics that my college coaches taught me definitely relayed to what my coaching tactics are now, because that's what they taught me and that's what I know. But I think that as basketball changes and life changes, so does defensive tactics and offensive tactics. So I think that we just we grow and develop as coaches, and the players, they learn so much now just outside of just your high school coaches. They are constantly going to get in the gym somewhere else and learning things themselves. So I think that playing basketball in college definitely helped me as a coach, but it's not a necessity, because there's a lot of great coaches out there that didn't play in college, but I think that it definitely gave me some confidence going into coaching and wanting to stick with it and just the love of the game.
That's great. Well, and finally, you talked about your staff. You're expecting, if we can say,
Yep.
a new addition there to the family, a first addition. So we're excited about that for you. And you had mentioned, I think, as the season progressed and you guys went further and further into the tournament, you were able to be on the sidelines and all that. But you mentioned the support you got both from your players and from your assistant coaches. Talk about how that kind of helped you through this these changes plus this new adventure in basketball.
Yeah, we are definitely excited to have our little girl, but my team definitely, they became a family, but they treated me more like a mom this year, it seemed like. So that was kind of awesome to see and kind of start to grow into that role. And they were very supportive. They threw me a baby shower, and they were constantly just wanting to know what the changes were and the step-by-step pregnancy process. And my assistant coaches, they stepped in so much for me with, appointments I had to go to. Sometimes I had to step out and do some other things. And I think that they definitely filled a great role, and I have to trust in them this summer again because she's coming this summer. So
right.
They're going to take over and be just great assistants that they've done all season, and I can't thank both of them enough, Stephanie and my dad. So
That's great. Finally, big goals for any quick goals for next season? I know it's hard to think about next season right now.
just we're taking one step at a time.
Yeah,
We've got to see what we've got coming back this summer and try to just work out the little details on getting quicker and faster and stronger, and that's just the ultimate goal, is just to take things one at a time, one day at a time.
All right, Coach Jackie Steltenpohl, Bishop Leblond girls coach, state runner-up, incredible season. We're all certainly, as a city, we're proud of you. I know you've been honored by the council and by others, but we want to say congratulations to you, and thanks for joining us for Community Conversations tonight.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching. We have more news coming up after the break.